Something special happened today.
So we got to talk about it now. The HBO, How to Make It in America. How did that come together? But before that, I guess the HBO portion of it. How did the song come about? Because there's certain songs. I'll tell you this, man. Because I'm a huge cupcake. Like when I hear a song that moves me, I'm like, please go outside. I'm gonna start shedding some tears on this. I mean, that song conveys a lot. And when you hear it, the first time I heard it, I thought, this is. I didn't even know it was you. I thought it was a 40-year-old song. Mm-hmm. So that's a testament to you recording fantastically. But it's very honest, and there's a lot being said. And the story kind of has multiple parts from the beginning to the. He's talking about whiskey and wine.
Right.
And, where did the impetus for that song kind of come from?
The impetus would be, I would like to say the Black church, because of the call and response, and the way I thought about the song when I was first coming up with it. At the time, I was listening to a lot of chain gang music. I got a field recording from a friend of mine named Brad Goldhorn, who plays for Team Scrub. He gave me a CD full of basically field recordings of chain gangs in the South.
Wow.
I think that was kind of floating around in my head, and I had this idea of a song not unlike Ray Charles' "I Got a Woman," which is basically a church song that he basically just changed the lyrics, and that kind of rhythm. I need a dollar, that's what I need. Hey, hey, with call and response, and each verse being a different person in the circle singing their woes, why they need a dollar. So since 2005, that song, it's been floating around in my head. I've been developing the lyrics, writing the verses. The whiskey and wine verse probably was one of the first I wrote. And then, I get in the studio with the guys from Truth and Soul, and they're jamming out this beat, and I was thinking to write new lyrics and trying to come up with an idea, but then the "I Need a Dollar" lyrics kept pop back in my head, and the melody of the chorus and everything, and it's the kind of vocal melody that can fit almost on any instrumentation.
And it worked perfectly while we were there, so that's how it married with the music. And then, ultimately with the TV show, the album had been done for like about 8 months, and the music supervisor of the TV show was calling out for songs for the intro. The video to the intro had already been cut. They just needed to put a song with it, and luckily my song was submitted with a few others, and it was selected.
When did you get the word?
I got the word while I was on tour with Maya Jupiter, my wife. We were in Australia. She was on a big day out tour, and I was singing background vocals for her. And an email came in, and the email said, could be a pretty big deal. Would you be inclined to sign off on a license for a TV show? And I thought, of course. I mean, this is big news. My song on a TV show will expose my music to a lot of people. Yeah. So, I responded positively to the email, and the process started.
Did you get to see it before the show aired? Or?
I did get to see the intro, the cut of the intro.
But with it together?
And the show, no, I didn't get to see the show before it aired.
Well, I guess I mean like the music with the...
I did get to see the music cut with the intro.
What was that like, man?
It was cool. I mean, the visuals are really well done. Really well done.
I figured, this is going to be a really big opportunity for people in the U.S. at least to hear my music, because, HBO doesn't, when they pick up a show, that show doesn't necessarily syndicate on HBO around the world.
Right.
But on my last trip to Europe, cats in Europe are already watching the show. They're getting it somehow. The internet.
It's on the web, yeah. There's tons.
The internet is a great place to receive all kinds of media. So.
Now the album, I guess in a word, how would you kind of describe the feel of the album, or if you were to say, what's this album?
I call it brand new old soul. It feels like, from what everybody's saying on the internet, it feels like Otis Redding or Bobby Womack. It feels like Al Green and Bill Withers. it feels like Donny Hathaway and Marvin Gaye. Now, I'm just quoting what other people said.
That's good. Good to preface it.
But but to me, honestly, that's what I was channeling when I was writing the album, and what I was reading. You know, we had stacks and stacks of wax poetics in the studio, and I'm, reading all these articles about everybody, Sound of Philadelphia and Sly Stone and whatever was in the magazine. I'm kind of soaking it all up, and it that's to me what it feels like. It feels like brand new old soul. It feels like it's old and classic, just like you said. It could have been made
Fooled
a few
the hell
decades
out
ago,
of me. Completely.
but it's new.
How are you feeling right now as an artist, man? Because we were talking to Bilal and Devlin Champagne King a couple of weeks ago, and we are saying, now it seems like as an artist, there's full autonomy in terms of you can do whatever you want to do when you want to do, whether it be audio or even video, like we were talking about before the show. I mean, is that liberating for you in terms of being able to create and get it out like instantly?
Yes, it is. It's liberating, but it's also, I think, for a lot of artists who aren't necessarily business savvy, it could be detrimental. Because I do so many different genres of music, it could be dangerous for me to just keep releasing a different genre single all the time. It doesn't really help develop a face or a character. There will be the really open music lovers that'll be attracted to that kind of stuff. But personally, I want everybody to hear my music, and I want everybody to like it. Otherwise, I wouldn't release it.
True.
And so I'm going to do what makes the most sense to gain the biggest audience. And that said, not by making cheesy pop music, by making what's genuine and authentic and with integrity, but in a way that is going to afford me the chance to have a wider audience. And so, yeah, I think that it's liberating, but you gotta be responsible with your freedom.
That's good. That's perfect wording, I think. I mean, because really, it's like you kind of see on the blogs and whatnot, because you mentioned blogs, snark and snarkiness runs rampant, and I think it's because there's no deferment of gratification anymore. So it's like, oh, Aloe put out a new song. That song's old. Like, dude, that song's been out for 3 weeks. So you kind of have to keep them wanting more, because they're so used to just, I'm gonna come home from work and I'm gonna download like 10 albums, and I want.
And that's
more.
true. That's true if the music is mediocre. But if the music is really good, people will want more, but that one song will serve them for a long time.
It's like food, right? I mean,
it's absolutely like food.
You are what you eat, and if you're consuming terrible music, then you're not really feeding yourself properly. It's just like preservatives. I mean, I heard this, don't quote me on it, but I heard this story about, U.S. GIs in Vietnam who said that the U.S. soldiers' bodies would decompose 2 weeks later than the Vietnamese bodies because of the types of foods they're eating. And you are what you eat. You wouldn't grow if you weren't consuming matter that ultimately becomes reconverted into cells in your body. So if you're eating preservatives, those are becoming cells in your skin, and those actually preserve your body, which I really hope that the music that's being made right now and that's being touted as music on commercial radio doesn't really serve as a preservative, because I don't want that stuff to stick around for very too long.
Back in the day, it seemed like in the doo-wop days, like you would sing for your family, and your family would tell you, oh man, you sound fantastic, you should go sing on the stoop. And you go downstairs and you sing on the stoop. You sing for your boys and the local girls or whatever, and it's like, wow, you're fantastic. And then you sing at the block party, and then you start singing at like city functions. And it kind of seems like we've gone back to that in terms of there has to be that organic growth of your fan base.
Yeah.
Not so much because that's just it's the quicker way to make money, but like people can kind of see through the BS now.
Right. People can see straight through it, and it's the word we use now is viral. Before it was word of mouth or grassroots, and that's ultimately what is going to be the telltale sign of who's good and who's not. a lot of people send me emails and ask me, how do I get to where you're at, and how do I get my people to hear my music? I say, put it online, give it away for free. If they like it, they'll want more. And if they really like it, they'll pay for it, and then you'll be able to do shows. But, I think gone are the days of pressing up an album and expecting to just sell it because you have a CD to sell. I think now you really have to have something compelling, number one, and you have to offer people a chance to learn about it. And that's really how we learned, back in the day when I used to get samplers from Loud Records or Priority Records or whatever. Free cassettes, Jive, Def Jam, free cassettes. They give you the music for free, just like crack. First one's free. First one's on me.
Yeah. But are you a champion of this new kind?
Yeah. I think it's great. I think honestly, there will be a lot of crap out there. A lot of people misusing the medium. But that's fine, because it'll just sit and wait in its own cesspool. The really good stuff will rise to the top. The really good stuff will be viral, and people will pass it around, and they'll share it, and they'll honor it and cherish it for a long time. And it'll be obvious what's good and what's not. The only time that it won't be obvious is when this kind of corporatized music industry, the system that forces the uneducated, the ignorant, the young people, it forces them to like and believe that something is good with their, marketing tactics, propaganda, their emotional kind of strategic marketing.
Again, the album is called
Good Things.
It is released on
September 28th.
Kids at home find you online.
You find me at aloeblac.com, ALOEBLACC, and from there you can get in touch with me on Twitter or Facebook, MySpace, and at the Stones Throw website.
Well, we're going to end this interview. So I feel like we can go on forever, but I want to thank you because this has been a fantastic conversation. We do a little thing called the gem drop, where we have people come through and drop a gem on them. So
the most important thing that I can communicate to people right now is, as consumers in a capitalistic society, we should be more compassionate. Be aware of the products that you're purchasing may harm or help. And as corporations, I would encourage business executives and entrepreneurs to be compassionate as capitalists, to be aware of the products that you make, the life cycle of the products, and the people or peoples who are directly affected by the materials that you use and where they come from. Specifically, technology products that could potentially be in conflict because the minerals that are being extracted in maybe war-torn areas in Africa, where warlords are basically massacring villages to have access to their natural resources, to then sell them on a marketplace that turns a blind eye. So diamonds aren't the only thing in conflict.
Aloe Blacc, philanthropist, conscientious individual, MC, singer-songwriter, all-around good dude. The album is coming out September 14th on Stones Throw. Please get it. Once again, where can they find you online, sir?
www.aloeblac.com. ALOEBLACC.
There it is.
So happy today. I got green lights all the way.